Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. We are back with the Super Cup today, the UEFA Super Cup. The match is, it seems as if the match is non-ending, and it also seems that City's injury suggests non-ending. So it'll be interesting to see how we cope this season. The UEFA Super Cup is almost about to kick off, and it's a trophy we want to win, of course. When it's not like the Community Shield, it has more prestige attached to it. And a few Arsenal fans actually think that I'm saying this only because we lost the Community Shield. Even if we have won the Community Shield, I would always be saying this. This competition has much more prestige attached to it because it's literally the winners of Champions League and Europa League, two European champions, of course, of different levels playing each other. So this will actually be very interesting. Let me adjust my webcam a bit so that it's even more better. Yes, I think this is much better now. And the squad selection for me is interesting. I mean, I know I put Josko Guardiola at center back here, but I'm just seeing where is Josko Guardiola playing. That's a foul, ref. That's a foul. That's a foul. There are certain very interesting aspects here, especially the attacking this thing, which Cole Palmer is playing on the right hand side. I mean, Cole Palmer might never get another opportunity in his career like this, with Riyad Mahrez leaving and City still not able to purchase a replacement for Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo Silva, the only recognized player who could play there, and now with Kevin De Bruyne's injury, Bernardo Silva could actually be playing in the midfield. Akanji scored on the ball here. Akanji scored on the ball here. Akanji scored on the ball, but that's nothing. Eric Lamela just couldn't do anything with that. Akanji just got on the ball. Akanji at centre back is he just reminds you of Kyle Walker in his heyday. Akanji at centre back reminds you of that loss of concentration which Kyle Walker used to have early on in his career. That's what Akanji, immense talent, but just that loss of concentration. Seen it against Inter Milan, seen it against Burnley, seeing it here now. Just one or two moments, and then he does something brilliantly, and then think he's one of the best centre backs in the world. So Cole Palmer, great ball into Cole Palmer. Phil Foden up there, nice cushion into Cole Palmer. Kyle Walker. The entire thing is on City's right hand side. Back to Nathan Ake. A bit of mess there at the back, and Jack Grealish coming into the team after the break against Burnley. I mean, so literally, I think Bernardo Silva will shift to the center of the midfield, whatever people might say, because unless we sign Lucas Paqueta, there's no one literally who can control the tempo of the game. Kovacic for me is a bit on the slower side in controlling the tempo of the game. Still needs to learn playing in a Pep system a bit more. That's another one we are caught, but Akanji, look at the positioning of Akanji there. That's world class. That's what Akanji gives you. Akanji summed up in 2 minutes. 1 minute he's reckless, and another minute is superb in his positioning. So for me, Bernardo plays in the center with De Bruyne ruled out long term. Especially with Paqueta, we do not know even if he comes in how much time he takes to settle into the Pep system. So I think at least in the short term for the next 1 2 months, I think you need to expect uh, Bernardo Silva playing in the middle of the field, and so I think that literally leaves you with no one out wide. Pep doesn't want to put Alvarez there. Pep doesn't want to put Foden there literally because Pep sees Foden playing centrally this year. So I think this could be the breakthrough of Cole Palmer. This could be the breakthrough year of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer for me has got everything. Knows how to control the tempo of the game. Was having a lack of confidence last season. Nothing more than that. But it could be nothing than the lad coming through and us doing well this season. Gautam says, have the Josh for this one. Hey Gautam, the Josh is just never ending. For me, I felt this as a continuation of the Champions League final, continuation of our last Champions League campaign, you know. But the nerves are just not there. The nerves like we had against Bayern Munich, first leg, second leg, the nerves we had against Real Madrid first leg when Vinny Jr. scored that goal, the nerves we had against Inter Milan. The Inter Milan, I think 2 3 days even before the final, all one of every one of us were just so nervous. But good positioning there back Angie. But Josko Guardiola, first piece of defending to do for Josko Guardiola in there. Let's see how he does it. Rodri does extremely well. Jack Grealish takes up the defensive positioning. Wonderful from City. This is excellent from City. But Gautam, do let me know what do you think of the injury situation in there? I won't call it a crisis, but injury situation. De Bruyne gone, Lucas Paqueta. News is that City might actually walk away from the deal and stuff. If West Ham don't accept around 90 million pounds and Jeremy Doku, we do not know. People says, I mean, I've looked at Jeremy Doku and I think still think he's a bit raw. His finishing needs to be polished. His positioning needs to be polished. He has great pace, but there are elements which Jeremy Doku needs to improve on. So, what are your thoughts on this season? De Bruyne getting injured and a lot of question marks. Cole Palmer trying a shot from deep. So, what are your thoughts on this season with so many question marks and De Bruyne getting injured and all of this stuff? Danny Olmo was actually another interesting link this today. It came today afternoon, not from a great source, but Danny Olmo was some. It's interesting that Danny Olmo's name keeps popping up. Danny Olmo's name popped up when Fabrizio Romano told City are in for Olise. Danny Olmo's name popped up. Now again, Danny Olmo's name is popping up. The what a ball that is! What a through ball from Mateo Kovacic that is! The through ball just didn't have enough pace, but what a try that was from Mateo Kovacic. That was just wonderful from Kovacic breaking the lines. Ah, I know Sevilla defenders already have dragged Haaland a bit wide, but the ball was just superb from Mateo Kovacic. That is what Kovacic can do. The vision. Cole Palmer, that is a wonderful header from Cole Palmer. Nathan, you have to score that, Nathan. Nathan had to score that. Nathan Ake had to score that. Cole Palmer does extremely well there. Uh, but what a ball that was from Cole Palmer over there. What a ball that was from Cole Palmer. How's your left foot, Palmer? Wow, the left foot of Cole Palmer is just superb over there. Wonderful from Cole Palmer. Gautam says KDB won't be available for 4 months at least. If we can get Paketa and Doku, we can get through the first half. But I think Gautam, we need to remember that I think it was the 2018-19 campaign, right? Kevin De Bruyne was almost injured for most of that campaign, and I think it was Bernardo Silva who was exceptional playing in the false nine position, and we won the league by what with 97 points or 99 points that year, 2018-19. It went to the last day as well, I think, with Liverpool last day or penultimate day. Good ball, that is a good ball, but no one literally made the run for that. So I mean, more than the absence of Kevin De Bruyne, for me, The thing is, I'm more worried about what will happen to Rodri now. See, we can lose any player in this team. We lose Haaland, we have Alvarez. Pep can play false nine. We lose Ruben Diaz. I know it could be a big blow, but then we have John Stones, we have Manuel Akanji, Josko Guardiola, Aymeric Laporte still there with us. You name me any player in the team, and if you lose them, you have a replacement, somewhat a replacement. But I'm just it is sending fears down my spine, thinking what will happen if you lose Rodri. The replacements are just awful if you lose Rodri. God's sake, hope I've not jinxed it. But I don't, but the replacements are awful. Calvin Phillips. I mean, there's a match on Saturday against Newcastle, and still Pep Guardiola is playing Rodri for this match, and he's not trusting Calvin Phillips. Against Burnley, it was 3-0 and 2 minutes to go. He trusted, I think, Maxima Parane to come on or James McAtee to come on with 2 minutes remaining and play in the deep position in place of Rodri and not Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips has to come through this season. I cannot see Rodri, playing every match this season. That is just not possible. There is Cole Palmer free on the wide. There is Cole Palmer free on the wide. He's played in Cole Palmer. That's actually very good ball. Cole Palmer, Cole 1v1, 1v1, 1v1. Well done, Cole. Just don't lose the ball. That is a shit cross from Kyle Walker, and it was and I think Guardiola on his right foot. You'll excuse him for that finishing, but that wasn't a good ball from Kyle Walker. Wasn't a good ball at all from Kyle Walker. I think Pep had three options here for me. Okay, Olise didn't want to come. Olise actually didn't want to come to us. I think he preferred staying in London and stuff. He feels his family settled in London and all. So that's why we didn't pursue a bid for Olise. Otherwise, we would have matched the release clause of Chelsea and then spoken to the player, and a lot would have happened. So no Olise, but we knew from quite a while there would not be Olise for us. But for me, I actually think we had two options other than Olise. I think it was what's his name, Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz was actually an option that we had. It was Florian Wirtz or Lucas Paqueta. I think if Kevin De Bruyne was not injured, I think Pep would go for Florian Wirtz. The reason that Kevin De Bruyne is injured is going for Paqueta because Paqueta can play the Rodri role. Paqueta is physical enough. Paqueta has the skills. Paqueta has the know-how. For me, Paqueta has everything that a Frankie De Jong has, and he has everything defensively that a Frankie Dion does not have. His a towering presence is very good in the air. You look at the aerial duels won by Lucas Paqueta, and it will be in the top 10 in the league or something like that. That's insane. Defensively, the interceptions, the aerial duels won by Paqueta, and I think that season at West Ham last year, it would have helped Paqueta a lot because Paqueta played more in that defensive role last season when he was actually at West Ham. So that for me is actually very interesting looking at the Lucas Paqueta signing. I think if De Bruyne wasn't injured, I don't think we were going for Lucas Paqueta anyway. I think we would have looked at Florian Wirtz somehow or the other. Gautam says that's the reason I wanted Lavia back. I mean, this honestly could have been the breakthrough season for Romeo Lavia. Looking at Rodri's workload, he would have played in the Super Cup for sure. Looking at his, I mean, if only we had Lavia back, we suddenly would have Lavia breaking through at CDM. We would have Cole Palmer breaking through at right back. We would have Rico Lewis, who's breaking through sort of in that central midfield, in that right back position or whatever. It could have been much more spicier and interesting for the academy. Rodri with the ball, Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, he's looked excellent. He's absolutely looked stunning. Cole Palmer. Rodri is just looking a bit off. Josko Guardiola is also just looking to bed in. That was a missed tackle from Josko Guardiola. The confidence of Cole Palmer is just very good right now. It's sky high. But again, Gautam, the reason we bought Calvin Phillips was because I mean, they say that the reason Pep bought Calvin Phillips was keeping Erling Haaland in mind. One of the strengths of Calvin Phillips is playing the balls over the top. Calvin Phillips is almost known as the Yorkshire Perlo. I know I tell it to my friends and they all laugh. Yorkshire Perlo? Well, he's even not playing as the like the beggar's Perlo. But Calvin Phillips is known as the Yorkshire Perlo, and Calvin Phillips' passing ability from deep, his ability to switch the ball from deep is just superb. So no one expected that he would take this much time to settle into the Pep system, but Calvin Phillips' ability is just. I think it's just because of Calvin Phillips' ability that of through balls that Pep Guardiola has brought him over Romeo Labia. And also the guy held the defensive midfield on his own in a Marcelo Bielsa system. Erling Haaland through Matteo Kovacic and Erling Haaland are just having some superb understanding here. Erling Haaland was almost through over there. Gautam says, I don't see him playing for us anytime soon. You just never know, Gautam. I think, I mean, I don't know why, but I have this feeling that we might see Calvin Phillips play from when the Carabao Cup starts. I think somewhere around October, mid or something like that. I think that is when the Carabao Cup starts. Then that is when we might see Calvin Phillips playing. This season, for me, I somehow think that if Calvin Phillips proves his worth, then I think he'll be there or else he'll be sold next season. 2 seasons under Pep, 2 complete seasons is maybe a bit too much. Continues is how about giving James McCarthy a chance? That's an interesting question. We'll get into it after this attack. Jack Grealish on the ball. Jack Grealish cutting inside. That was a good shot from Jack. Good to see that he's actually shooting. When you look at Jack Grealish's face now, it almost seems like he, he he had fully recovered from being drunk from that treble celebration, something like that. That's what he has completely become sober. That's what Jack Grealish seems like. Oh, I'm back to reality from the celebrations. It's a corner. Jack Grealish taking the set piece. We were awful at taking set pieces last season, so hopefully we're better at them now. Rodri with the header, and it's cleared out by Sevilla. The problem with James McAtee Cantania is I don't think Pep Guardiola trusts James McAtee in big games as of yet. So I think James McAtee will have a bedding in period. I think with the people coming through the academy, it's almost like what did Foden do in his first season? Foden mostly trained with the first team, and then in his second season he was just getting some minutes, and then suddenly Pep Guardiola, he put him put Foden in a big game. I remember we were knocked out by Spurs in a Champions League, that VAR fiasco, and then we had a game 2 days back. We had to win against Spurs. Otherwise, we were out of the title race. 18-19 season again, and Pep Guardiola put Foden straight in that match. He started that match. Foden scores. I think Foden scores the goal in that match, ironically, and we win it 1-0. And we win that title by 1 point. So I think Pep Guardiola sort of has this knack. Whenever a young player comes through, he makes him train with people like your Bernardo Silva's. At that time it was David Silva, and then he sees a spark in the training, and then he throws him in a big game, and then he starts giving them starts and playing time regularly. I think there's a method to how we bridge in players. So I think it's a bit too early for James McAtee to be starting for City or even getting playing time or minutes. I know I continue ask this question because we are looking for Lucas Paqueta, and actually he might be feeling, even I felt that why not give your Maxima Parone, your James McAtee's a chance, maybe Sergio Gomez played in the midfield and stuff. But then we are talking about Lucas Paqueta here. We are talking about a player here who who starts regularly in the midfield for Brazil. We are talking about a player here who has played right wing, left wing, false nine, box to box, even CDM couple of times, attacking mid. We're talking about a player in Lucas Paqueta here who's come through Flamengo, which is a Brazilian giant and which is known for producing players like top quality players. I think players like Vinicius Junior was from there. Maybe Neymar, no, Neymar was from Santos. So big players have come out from that club. So you're talking about about someone who's seen it all in Lucas Paqueta at the international level and who's experienced. And also, I think, and also another thing is when you throw young players, I've always felt this when you throw young players in quite early, if it works out, it's fine. But Haaland's made the run. That's a good run by Erling Haaland. Jack Grealish onto it. Jack cross it. Jack cross it. Ah, Rodri does well. Rodri does well. Jack Grealish, it's gone out. So with young players, if it doesn't go well, you see what happened with Cole Palmer. Didn't go well the season before. His entire confidence gone. It took him one complete year in the arrival of Juan Malilo, for example, to come and set everything in motion. So I think with young players, that scars, that scars they develop could last an entire career. That scars they develop could, it could potentially limit their growth, and it could it could limit the potential of an entire career, those scars. So I think it's very important to handle the young players well. I think people criticize Pep why he's not giving Ford and just throw him into the deep end. But I think Pep managed Foden exceptionally well. Well done by Josko Guardiola. It's Mateo Kovacic getting pressed on the ball again. Nathan Ake as well. Michael Owen is a great example of how you should not manage young players. Running to the ground was a legend probably, but was running to the ground and career ended at 24. So there are graveyards of young players not achieving their potential due to the managers throwing them in too early. So I think with James McAtee, I think he's proved it in his loan, and I think he's ready to come into the squad, but Pep manages young players in a different way. So I think we need to have patience, we need to trust him. People talk about Romeo Lavia, I mean, and and all of it. I mean, Romeo Lavia played well for Southampton, but we do not know how he will respond to pressure at Chelsea. When I felt, why are we selling Romeo Lavia? But Pep might have seen something there. Otherwise, he would not have. Maybe he felt we could buy back Romeo Lavia from Southampton in 2 years and he'll become a man. Then or something like that. I don't know what he has seen in Romeo Lavia that is let him go. Pep Guardiola is telling maintain the worth, maintain the worth. Again, interesting tactics from Pep against Burnley. He did not use any wingers. I mean, I agree it was man to man against Burnley, but still against Burnley he didn't use any wingers, and here he's using the width completely. Grealish, Palmer, with Kyle Walker the fullback and Josko Guardiola, both of them almost acting as traditional fullbacks and not exactly cutting into the midfield. But one thing is common. But one thing is common in what has happened against Burnley and what is happening here and what has happened in the preseason games, especially against Bayern and Yokohama Marinos. The common thing is the through balls to Haaland. We are playing so many more through balls to Erling Haaland. Kovacic attempted a through ball. Ederson attempted a through ball. A lot of through balls City are playing to Haaland. Manuela Kanji does well. Cole Palmer with the ball. Palmer does extremely well cutting inside. That's a foul. That's a foul. Come on, ref. That's a foul. That's a foul. I don't know why the ref has not given it. Wow. What a great through ball. That was from Bruno. Split the entire City defense into two. We need to be careful of that because Newcastle do a lot of them as well. And Sevilla score. Ah, Sevilla score. It is El Naisri. Sevilla score. Natanake, but you just couldn't do anything over there. Sevilla score. Just couldn't do anything over there. Sevilla score. One through ball, and I don't know. Natanake was. Ah, I don't know how it reached El Nasri in the middle because Natanake is actually a great header of the ball as well. And he just couldn't. That was a bullet header. You just couldn't do anything. That was a bullet header. Just couldn't do anything. Gautam says this season looks a really tough one. Brighton and Newcastle look quite impressive. Brentford look very good as well, and Chelsea have improved. Uh, Everton might not be as bad as they were last season. Nottingham Forest actually looked very good against Arsenal, so could be a tough season. But for me, I think it could be an interesting season as well because a lot of players are actually catching injuries. City, Josko Guardiola does well there. Sevilla take the lead against City, and there's still time. There's still time. We haven't won the Champions League just like that. We haven't won again. A poor giveaway, but Kyle Walker retrieves it. We haven't won the Champions League just like that without facing these kind of situations in at the Bernabeu, 1-0 down, and we responded. So there's nothing to panic. There's absolutely nothing to panic. I think we have the tools in the box. It's just that we need to be patient. That's all. We need to be patient. That's all. Just keep hold of the ball. Be patient. Sevilla might certainly play a low block. Will certainly play a low block. So and they'll commit those nagging fouls and all, but then there'll be added time and stuff, so there can be no excuse. That's a good switch. That's a very good switch. Jack Grealish collects the ball. I think we just need to quicken up the passing a bit. That's the only thing I think. That's a good ball floated in by Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish gets the ball again. Josko Guardiola, Manuel Akanji. Gautam says the last time a team won a treble had lost the Super Cup. I know, Gautam. I had just read it today morning actually that United lost the Super Cup in the 91 season. I mean, sorry, 99 season when they won the treble. But then we are levels above Manchester United and Manchester is blue, so we just cannot leave it like this. That's a foul. That's a foul on Rodri. I just have the feeling that we need to quicken it up a bit. We are just playing a little bit too slowly. We need to quicken it up a bit. Rodri. They're pressing in a mid block Sevilla, so that is interesting. Ah, that was a good idea by Josko Guardiola, but the ball was just a bit too far for Erling Haaland. Just a bit too far for Erling Haaland. Phil Foden with a nice dribble. I think we need to take into consideration Foden's adjusting in his central role. Josko Guardiola is new, so and you know how City's form is at the start of the season. We are not someone who come out of the blocks and stuff. Again, I'm not throwing in excuses here. We just cannot concede twice now. That's the only thing. Well done by Nathan Ake. The cross for the first goal was just pitch perfect. You just cannot do anything. Both Ake and Akanji were in great positions to defend the header, but the ball was so good. Sometimes you just cannot do anything. Even if I put Bernardo Silva over there, I still think he would have scored. The ball was so good. Offside. I thought that was an offside, but just need to weather this storm. That's all. To weather this storm. He wasn't offside. Nathan Ake was, of course, playing him on. And then Ake was the one who was actually appealing for the offside. Josko Guardiola there, just a bit too casual on the ball. Nathan Ake, Edison, Rodri, Phil Foden, Mateo Kovacic. Won't we create a single chance for Erling Haaland? That's what I'm looking at. Josko Guardiola and Akanji. Switch to Cole Palmer. Manuel Akanji does well. City slowly keeping possession and getting hold of the match here a bit. Sevilla are just looking to it on the counter. So Akanji does well. Nathan Ake does well. Kovacic, Rodri. City are just, this is good. We are keeping possession here. But what I don't want to see is this possession going to waste. At least it should culminate into a chance. Jack Grealish does extremely well over there. Kyle Walker does extremely well to find Josko Guardiola in so much space. Rodri. The idea was right, but Sevilla defense was always there. I think we need to just get a bit more creative here. Maintain the width. It's a low block. It's a low block, guys. Maintain the width. The chance will come. Chances will come. Cole Palmer. That's a foul on early. I think it's a red card. I think it's a red card. Haaland was through. Haaland was through, guys. Haaland was through. What do you think? Haaland was through. I think it's a red. I think it's a red. They need to check this at least once. I think Haaland was through. Haaland was through. That was such a good through ball there. Haaland was through. Maybe the runner was covering, but I don't know. I thought Haaland was through there. But it's a free kick. I want Phil Foden to take this free kick. I hope we score from a free kick. That would just be superb. I think Phil Foden's taking it. A left footer, it's a perfect position for a left footer to be fair. I do not want Kyle Walker to take it. That is not a good free kick from Foden. That's not at all a good free kick from Foden. Say we have started wasting time. Oh no, I think it could be a big injury over there. I'm sorry, the ball hit the player on the head, so it's not wasting time. I'm sorry, ball hit the player on the head. Maybe Ruben Diaz would have marked the player stronger there. I don't know. Maybe Ruben Diaz would have marked the player stronger over there. I don't know. Maybe you're thinking Ruben Diaz or a Josko Guardiola in there and that doesn't go in, but nothing from the defenders there. You don't allow the cross to come in, that's all. I mean, there's nothing called as time wasting and stuff because I hope they add everything at the end like they do in the Premier League. Josko Guardiola and Nathan Ake. Counting as felt Walker could have closed down the winger to avoid the cross. Walker is the captain, Gaudinya. Walker is the captain. He doesn't want to do the dirty work now. He's elevated himself. He's dined with Pep Guardiola for 2 hours. Walker will not do all of that stuff. But yeah, you're right. Preventing the cross from the source was the only way to get it right because the cross was undefendable. Even if I put the smallest player, who is it, Ansu Fati or some, what a takedown that is. Ah, it's Manuel Akanji venturing into the box, but that was a good takedown by Manuel Akanji, and that was a good ball in from Cole Palmer. Probably Akanji should have held it instead of hitting it. So that was an impossible cross to defend. Yeah, the only thing was you had to, but you know if you see that replay back, the thing is there was a 2v1 situation there. So by the time I think support arrived for I think it's another corner for City. So by the time support arrived for Kyle Walker and Kyle Walker could drift out wide, already the wing the winger put the cross in because if Kyle Walker committed out wide too early, then I think it was almost a free run into the box for one of the midfield player of Sevilla. I think there was a 2v1 situation there. That's why Walker didn't commit till the last minute. Rodri. Interesting that Pep is not experimenting anything here. Oh, he's doing something. Manuel Akanji. Guys, notice it. Manuel Akanji is now playing in central midfield. Manuel Akanji is going into the midfield now. It's just Kyle Walker and Nathanake out there back. Manuel Akanji is in central midfield. Guys, notice it. Manuel Akanji in central midfield. And it's not even DM. He's almost making Gundogan like runs into the box. Josko Guardiola does extremely well. Ah, Jack! Ah, great through ball from Josko Guardiola there. Guys, just notice the positioning of Manuel Akanji. It's very interesting. Anurag is here from Sport Freak. Hey Anurag, how are you doing? Kamdinya says that distance was easy to cover for Walker's pace. He looked a bit slow to react when the ball went to the wing, and later he was just hanging his right foot. Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic does well. Rodri. Manuel Akanji. But Akanji's positioning is damn interesting for me. Pep is just having Walker and Natanake back. Rodri. That's a clear foul on Rodri. It's a yellow card. Ref, it's a yellow card. I think Coutinho, it's also a bit different when you're playing a Champions League quarter final or something. If that was Vinicius Junior, I'm sure that Walker would have sprinted. But since I mean I should not say this, every match is important in football, but some matches are more important than the other. So I think early on it's just people are just setting into the season. People are just getting a groove of it and stuff. They've just City have not had a good enough preseason, just 3 matches. So I think people are getting to fitness. That's the reason why Kyle Walker didn't do that. Sport Freak says El Nasri is a beast. I saw him first time at World Cup, but today it will be City who will win the Super Cup. I actually don't know. Sport Freak. I actually don't know it will be City who will win the Super Cup, but I'm just hoping we create two chances for Erling Haaland at least, because these kind of games, Sevilla is almost like the setback. Sometimes we've seen in history teams sitting back in the Champions League and winning Champions Leagues. Mourinho's famous teams, you're reminded of Mourinho's famous teams. So you just never know, because Sevilla have got 1-0 goal lead and they'll just sit back. That's all. They'll just sit back and they'll do nothing. Look at it. They're not even offering anything in attack. I mean, Pep Guardiola has put Manuel Akanji from centre back to attacking midfield. You can understand. Kyle, Sevilla just want to sit back and hit on the break now. So it will be defense we attack. It will be, can we break them down? It will be no space for Erling Haaland. There'll be lot of things here. Rodri does extremely well. I think El Nasri also scored in the Sevilla. I think in the Europa League final or quarter or semi final. I don't remember. El Nasri was a handful there. Mateo Kovacic to Nathan Ake. Nothing. The space for Jack Grealish out wide. Rodri Ake. Width is the answer to breaking down a low block. Width is the answer. Jack Grealish does extremely well, but that's a foul. Hand has gone down, not so well. Ref, that's a foul. And the ref is a twat. The ref is an absolute idiot. He's not even booked him for that. Who the hell is this ref? He's not even booked him for that. That's a clear yellow card, guys. That's a clear yellow card. Spoke Freak says they can win against Rome, but not City. Just wait for Haaland. Hope so for Sport Freak. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the support. Hope so they can do it, but like I don't predict City's matches. It's just that process. We play well, we give our best, and whatever happens in the game. We look forward to the next game. That's all. Against Roma, I think they did not deserve to win. Come on, it was a handball for Roma. Jose Mourinho should have been player here. A chance for Akanji there. Ake should have scored early on from a header, but chance for Akanji. Just didn't fall for him. I'm wondering about the extra time. Will they give 5 minutes of extra time? Well done by Mateo Kovacic. Akanji is not even sprinting back to get to that centre back position. Palmer doesn't get to the ball, and we're not even pressing that high. Rodri does well there to retrieve the ball. It's Kyle Walker who does well. Rodri to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic to Haaland. Give and go between Kovacic and Haaland. It's just not working out. Just not working out. Look at it. Sevilla are just booting the ball out. That's all. Sevilla are just booting the ball out. Switch to Jack Grealish. Mateo Kovacic. The understanding between Kovacic and Haaland is very good. It's just that give and goes are not working. Nathan Ake. Jack Grealish. Grealish in the shoot, shoot, shoot. Rodri should have shot there. Rodri should have shot there. I know it was on his weaker foot, the left foot, but chance. That is a chance. Jack, why did you keep a foot? That ball was for Erling Haaland. Jack, maintain the weight. Jack, why is Jack Grealish coming in? I do not know. It's bloody plus 3 minutes. What a ball! Ah, great run by Foden and a great ball over there. City are just things are just not falling for City. That's all. Things are just. Can we do something in this last 2 minutes? Imagine how much of a high it would give if you score now before going into the break. Rodri, Gosco Guardiola, one last chance. The run from by Foden was excellent. Ha! Oh, what a ball by Jack Grealish there. Why is someone not coming onto it, mate? What a ball by Jack Grealish. Ah, no one gambled there. It was not for Haaland, but no one gambled there. On the far post. This is something which we miss since the Sterling days. People say Sterling missed chances. I blame him, but he gets into them positions at least. Ah, what a chance that was. Ah, one is the time for one more chance? I don't think so. Ederson, I think this should be this. Probably one more chance with 15 seconds remaining. Fast, quick throw in, but no. I think it's our very own Jesus Navas also there, defending at left back. What a fantastic right back he's turned to be, and I think that's half time. It's just that the ball did not fall for us. That's all. I mean, you could sit here and pick out the nitty gritty there. I know Walker should have gone fast, gone a bit more faster to the opposite winger. The defenders couldn't do it. The centre backs cannot do anything. And nicely, I mean, even if it was a Bernardo Silva over there, he would score. The cross was so good, and the header was also so good. It went in off the bar, so nothing could have been done there. I think you could partially say Walker, and then things City have been putting in good crosses. The through balls are there. It's just that probably it feels like one of those days where you know things are not just going for the wonderful crosses come in, but no one can just get on the end of it. Even if someone gets on the end of it, it hits the bar, it hits everywhere. I mean, maybe feels like that kind of a day. But it also feels like the kind of the day where you need a Julian Alvarez here to break the deadlock. I won't be surprised if at the beginning of the second half, like after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Pep Guardiola brings in Julian Alvarez and just floods the box. I maybe think that Ruben Diaz might come, or John Stones might also come in at centre back, or Ruben Diaz might come as centre back just to deal with El Nasri and Akanji on the bench, and probably Julian Alvarez comes in for Mateo Kovacic, I think. Because, I think in the 42nd, 43rd minute uh, when Jack Grealish put the ball in, Mateo Kovacic was almost there, but he wasn't. If a striker was in that position, Alvarez would have scored that off the back post. It's just that anticipation was not there from Mateo Kovacic. So I just think that it's just the little thing not falling for us. And, and also with the Kyle Walker thing, like Camden mentioned, I think it's just because of this early on in the season. I think players are just getting up to their high fitness levels. So, and also so much football last season. I mean, people have thought so much football last season, the World Cup, and how will it affect players in the second half of last season. I think we were all wrong in our estimates, including me. I think the real worrying problem is how will this campaign, especially the first half of this campaign, pan out, because we have seen Courtois injured, out for the season. Adam Militao, I think ACL out for the season. Hurrien Timber out for the season for Arsenal. Kevin De Bruyne potentially 4 5 months out for a major chunk of the season. So you're seeing a lot of injuries happening actually. So I think all of these injuries are due to so many minutes in the legs, the World Cup, and a lot of these things. So I think players are more careful now that I don't want to get be injured in the first half of the season, seeing what has happened in the last week. When was the last time in the first week of Premier League you saw these many players out getting injured? Uh, I don't know. So it's interesting to see how this season will pan out. I assume there'll be a lot more injuries. There'll be a lot of injuries. JSK says, okay, I changed my mind. We need Paqueta now. We need Paqueta. Glad you changed your mind, JSK. We need Paqueta, of course, for sure. Vinay is here. Vinay says playing Palmer on wings is exciting, but is not even winger profile. But Vinay, don't you think Palmer has had some bright moments today? Palmer put in some good crosses today, and Palmer was actually very good. Uh, I think one of the cross which Palmer put for Ake today was actually very good. Ake should have scored that. I think Palmer did well. I know Palmer doesn't give you that pace which a Jeremy Doku does, but then again, if you're playing a Bernardo Silva over there or things like that which you did last season, I think it's almost a similar profile of a winger who can maintain possession. I know Mahrez is a bit more attacking. Mahrez goes inside, outside, he takes on plays a bit more. But I think Palmer is getting there. I thought Palmer was actually alright today. He played well, and and whatever he had to do, his crosses were very good. It's just that we could not make the most of it. One or two crosses from Palmer was actually very good. Vinay says many were against Paqueta, but now there's no creativity without KDB. That is true. Kovacic tried to do it, but for me, Kovacic is a bit slower, and Phil Foden still not learned the central position is getting there. Phil Foden's getting there. So I think I think that's why Pep is behind Lucas Paqueta. But that is not the only reason why he's behind Lucas Paqueta. I think because if you only wanted creativity, I think you could pretty much have gone for Florian Wirtz, for example. So I think Pep wants Paqueta because he could play those two, three positions. I mean, four or five positions because I've had Paqueta played right wing, left wing, false nine, center mid, cam. He could also play a CDM if needed. I think he's one of the top five, top six players in aerial duels won in midfielders in the Premier League last season. He's certainly in the top 10 if you see. So, but I think Jeremy Doku would be interesting here. Jeremy Doku would be very interesting because that fast pacey profile we haven't had someone like that from the Sunny days. JSK says about wings, Doku is coming. Vinay says, yeah, Doku is needed. Even I can enjoy defending against slow and back pass Palmer or Grealish. I think it depends. It also depends on which opposition Pep plays Doku against and Pep plays Palmer against. Because uh, I think here with Sevilla, one of the problems was if we lost possession, Sevilla were ready to counter. You see, where did the goal come from? Palmer lost possession, and then it was a 2v1 for Walker. Walker could have probably recovered, but again, like I said, it's early on in the season, so Walker didn't make that sprint. So, and we must remember Walker is 32, 33 now, his hamstring and stuff. We do not know about that. So I think if you play Doku against opposition like this who sit back, I think you risk giving possession away too much and then they can hit you on the counter. I do think there are certain profiles of teams which Pep will play Doku, and there are certain profiles of teams against whom Pep will play Palmer, I think. When I says I've noticed Haaland getting frustrated. How many balls were played to Haaland when I'm also getting frustrated. I'm sure you all are also getting frustrated when because Erling Haaland has had what a Mateo Kovacic through ball and one where he was forced wide and then another through ball where he was held back by the Sevilla defender. I think they were only the two things. So I think we need Paqueta now. I think this match is an example of why we need Paqueta. But then I think with Julian Alvarez coming in, it will improve a bit more. I think Julian Alvarez coming in, there'll be two people who will be making those runs into the box. Remember Crystal Palace last season? Palace were 2-0 up, and Pep bought on Julian Alvarez and threw him into the box last season in September, October. And Julian Alvarez, Haaland made the near post run, Julian Alvarez made the far post run, and Crystal Palace defenders found it hard. I think low block teams, I was surprised they didn't start Julian Alvarez today and go with the two striker system. I think you had to start Julian Alvarez today just to overwhelm them with numbers inside the box. JSK says, or let's get a Bayern winger, Nabry or Koeman. News has come, JSK, that Pep is extremely interested in Kingsley Coman, but then again, I think if you give me the option of Doku or Coman, probably I would go for Doku because Coman 26. Coman is how much? I think is at least 25, 26 injury record of Kingsley Coman. Looking at all that, I think Jeremy Doku, his raw talent and Pep Guardiola, if you give such a raw talent to Pep Guardiola could turn him into a beast. Not as much injury prone at all, Jeremy Doku. So I would prefer Doku over Kingsley Coman, I think. And I think if you go for Coman, Bayern will actually ask you 70, 80 maybe, and they would even ask Kyle Walker. Those idiots, Bayern Munich, they they bid 10 million pounds for Kyle Walker and they wanted to scam us by selling Benjamin Pavard for 30 million pounds. Get the hell out, Bayern. We will not deal with you. So I actually think dealing with Bayern is another problem. So I'm happy with Doku actually. I want Paqueta, I think, more than Doku to be fair. Swami is here after a long time. Swami, how are you doing, mate? He says this match shows the importance of KDB. I don't know you, but I'm having a feeling Sevilla winning this. Sevilla in knockout matches is a different gravy. One off match, Swami, anything can happen, but I don't necessarily say the importance of KDB. Yes, KDB is important, of course, but I think people need to remember we won the 2018-19 Premier League season without KDB for most parts. KDB didn't play in that season until March or something, and it was not a title in 80 points. We got 97 points, I think, to win the title that year, 2018-19, head-to-head battle with Liverpool, and it almost went to the last day and stuff like that. So, so I think it can be done, but I think if there is no KDB, Bernardo Silva needs to play in that midfield. You need to either have a KDB or a Bernardo Silva in that midfield. That is what brings creativity to the midfield. The reason being, see when KDB plays, see I've always felt this. what is the thing that has happened in the 2018-19 season when Bernardo Silva and KDB was injured for the first half? Bernardo Silva in the first half of that season until December ending, Mo Salah and Bernardo Silva. Mo Salah was on fire that season, by the way. Mo Salah and Bernardo Silva almost scored the same amount of goals and same amount of goal involvements. I know Bernardo played false nine, but there was rotation then of false nine. So Bernardo Silva in the midfield without Kevin De Bruyne makes those runs forward. Here you see there's no one making those runs forward. Kovacic doesn't make the runs forward. Rodri doesn't make the runs forward as much. I mean, you see Pep Guardiola bringing in Manuel Akanji to make those runs forward. So so you can understand you need someone making those runs forward there. That is what. How do you disrupt a low block? Maintain the width, stretch them, have a runner deep from midfield. Kundogan was the one who was making those runs forward. Bernardo Silva makes those runs forward now. There's no one making those runs forward into the box. That is the thing. Bernardo Silva is capable of doing that. So that is the concern. I think that's why I think you need to bring in Julian Alvarez. JSK says in Europe they're a different JV. They they suck in Super Cup. That is true. That is true. JSK. The last time Sevilla won a Super Cup was in 2006. JSK says 6 losses out of 7. Doesn't know what makes you think they will win. And by the way, JSK, I think we defeated Sevilla twice in the group stage last time. I think 3-1 at their home and 2-1 at the Etihad. So just think that we need to calm down and we just need to bring in Julian Alvarez or something like that. We need to make an attacking change and we need to be fast on the ball. We can't be this passive. Bayaji says Foden hardly got on the ball, let alone playing KDP role. That's another thing, Bayaji. Bayaji, I always thought that Foden does extremely well in that zone 14, you know. Zone 14 is just behind Haaland, but it's not the role of a second striker, but it's just ahead of the attacking midfielder. That zone 14 is where Foden excels. Atletico Madrid knockout, I think 2 years back, quarterfinals. Foden gives a pass to KDB from zone 14. So Foden is a master of zone 14, but Sevilla have put two people in that zone 14 if you observe, and Foden's just not able to get to those zones. It almost seems that Foden has been man-marked in those zones. Swami says generally finals end big scoring matches except it is FIFA. That is true. That is true, Swami. That is true. You seldom have big scoring finals. It's not that they haven't happened, but generally they're not big scoring. Vinay says from next time should target a winger who can keep the ball and also take on a defender like Mitoma. Probably Mohamed Kudus would have been a perfect thing. uh, Perfect winger with that profile. It seems that probably West Ham are targeting him. The problem with Mitoma was I think Mitoma cannot play on the right because he had a horrible spell on the right when he came to Brighton early on. And also another thing with Mitoma is I do not think Mitoma can come into the midfield, occupy those spawns and stuff. So that I think though I think the main thing with Mitoma was we were not sure if Mitoma can play on the right. That was the thing. That was the only doubt because suddenly you can't bring a winger for 80-90 million from Brighton, and then you get that he cannot play on the right. Shift him to left. Jack Grealish, can he play in on the right? Unfair to Jack Grealish who has spent 2 seasons just into the team. I think that was the only problem with Mitoma. If it didn't have Grealish, I think Mitoma comes for 100 million. Bhaiya, this is same type of player on both wings doesn't help at all. It also reduces Haaland's effectiveness. That is true, Bhayaji. Variety is needed. Variety is needed. Variety is needed for sure. People think Grealish Bernardo work, but Bernardo has that acceleration as well. He's not exactly like Grealish. Bernardo can accelerate and he has the turn of pace. So he's actually different. Vinay says no more Grealish profile, please. I think we all should start a campaign and send it to Pep personally, Vinay. Otherwise, Pep just keeps on buying. That's why I'm glad that we didn't get Olise now because Olise is again a Grealish profile player. No changes, right? Absolutely no changes. JSK says, nah, don't do business with Brighton. They will ask 120 million for him. That is true. That is true. I mean, especially with the mark with Casido and all of that stuff happening, Brighton might well ask for a stake in City Football Group as well, not just the transfer fee. I won't be surprised if Brighton might ask 120 plus a stake in City Football Group for that. It's a free kick for Sevilla. I just hope Sevilla don't get the second goal. I think some of the Sevilla players want handball, but nothing much from the ref and all. Vinay says Villa got Diaby for 40 million. He's such quality. Diaby is an absolute quality player, and he can. You know the thing about Diaby is he's much more polished than Doku. His running, I saw him for Villa against Newcastle, and he's just so good. Musa Diaby. He's just absolutely good. He's just absolutely fantastic. His the timing of his runs is direct, his pace and everything. He knows exactly when to keep the ball. I actually think Vinay Diaby is the kind of profile who knows how to keep the ball, but also he knows how to run with the ball at pace. We missed out on him. I think our priority targets were something else this transfer window. I think this transfer window, one of the priorities were getting Josko Guardiol, and then another priority was probably getting a Gundogan. Good cut back there, but probably getting Gundogan replacement. But I know we got Kovacic, but I think it was Josko Guardiol was one of the priority, and I think another thing is I do not think we expected Riyad Mahrez to leave. I think that was a major factor because City thought Josko Guardiol deal will go on. City expected Josko Guardiol deal to go on actually. So I thought, they're actually checking. It's not a handball. Come on, it's not a handball. Come on, it's not a handball. So I think City were expecting Josko Guardiola to take a bit more time. So and we were not expecting Riyad Mahrez to leave. What we thought was probably Mahrez will be there, Cole Palmer will be there, and Cole Palmer might go under Riyad Mahrez. And when Mahrez does eventually leave, we might then dip into the market. But Mahrez left, and then we got into the Guardiola deal, and because of Fabrizio Romano, the Guardiola deal stretched more than we expected, and and all of that stuff. So I think we were not expecting to sign a winger this season. Otherwise, when was the last time you saw City being so unprepared going into the season? We would have already finished our transfer business by now, right? Rodri does extremely well. Jack Grealish, cut back, Jack, cut back. Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake. Well done, Cole Palmer. Excellent by Cole Palmer. What is Manuel Akanji doing over there? There was no shot on Manuel. Ah, was it Josko Guardiol who's dived in? Wonderful stop by Edison over there. That is superb save by Edison. JSK, if you're there, keep your curse of Edison going on. He's just turned into a different beast right now. That should have been 2-0 Sevilla for sure. That can just spark City into the game. Jack, there is someone out wide. There is someone out wide. Rodri as well. Cole Palmer. Ah, and the Sevilla players just staying down. Kyle Walker's just being shit this match. Kyle Walker's just being a shit out this match. Vinicius Foden won't be KDB. He's been playing wings and Pep is right about his abilities. He might turn into a central this thing when I mean fingers crossed that he does it. Fingers crossed that he actually fingers crossed that he actually realizes his potential, Vinay. Phil Foden in the central area. Ah! Kyle Walker! Shit! He recovers well due to his pace, but just look at a shit game that Kyle Walker's having. It almost seems that he's not interested. Ah, Ford and Grealish having shit games. It almost seems that no one at City is interested. What the hell? When is Josko Guardiola giving the ball away now? When is the last time you saw City play so shit, guys? Cole Palmer, Manuel Ake. Just don't play the game. Just call it off right now. Ake does well too. Ake does well to drag it quite. Three chances for Sevilla. The game should have been done and dusted by now. Ake does extremely well there. Ake's turn of pace is very good. City are trying to turn it into an end-to-end game again. Rodri giving the ball away now. What the heck? What the hell are we doing, guys? Rodri giving the ball away now. It's a free kick for Sevilla. I'll just drink a bit of water and come. Rodri giving the ball away. What the hell? I just, I'm just glad you're still in the game. I'm actually just glad that we're still in the game. A left footer from Sevilla should take it. Ederson does very well to hold it. Ederson does extremely well to hold it there. Rodri, I mean, when Rodri gave the ball away, it's like, I'm like, shit, this is not happening tonight. But still, we believe till the end, of course. But Rodri giving the ball away tells you something that Rodri is crying out for rest. Guys, doesn't this game remind you of some game last season, the Community Shield? Last season against Phil, you should have dribbled with the bloody ball. To whom are you passing it? What? You should have just dribbled it 1v1. Phil, the handling over there from Anderson was extremely good there. Sevilla just playing a bit more open. Again, the ball given straight to a Sevilla player by Rodri. The only positive from all this is we are still 1-0 down after this, and it's not due to luck, it's due to defending properly. Edison does well with that chance, and then Ake does extremely well. I think it's all on our defense that we're very good. Bayaji says no energy, no pressing, no chemistry, very uncity like half. And this half has got even more worse, Bayaji. I know you are referring to that in the first half. Palmer does extremely well. Palmer, wonderful there from Cole Palmer, but it's City's throw. It's City's throw. Cole Palmer's been a bit of a white spot, I would say. Bayaji says swap Grealish and Foden positions. Jack was a floater at Villa. You know Pep, right? Bayaji. He will never do that. He This is a manager who refused to play Julian Alvarez out wide last season, even though we at one point did not have many wingers. Jack Grealish does extremely well over there. The final pass is just not happening, and I think Haaland might have had zero touches inside the penalty box in this match. Shit, that could be a new stat floating around come tomorrow. Sevilla are also now creating so many chances. If not for our defending, this could have been a humiliation for City. We are still 1-0. Even after Sevilla getting so many chances, it means something. It means that there is hope. It means destiny might have something better for us. JS Kazis, and last time it was Uncity half, it was the end of zero UCL banter. I know. That time it felt we were playing under pressure, but now it feels like we are actually playing with no interest, zero interest. That was a good header, one in the air, and Erling Haaland. Nathan. That's a foul on Josko Guardiol. Why are we not playing with any interest here? I just do not know. Erling Haaland almost made that one. Again, look at it. Stupid ball. Nathan Ake. It seems no one's having any interest today in playing the Super Cup. Phil Foden does extremely well there, even though he's been put to ground. Jack Grealish. Jack does extremely well. Rodri. Manuel, just don't shoot. Yes. Just keep the possession for some time. That's the only thing. Heavy touch. And again. Sevilla break. Sevilla break. Edison does well there. Good foot in by Kyle Walker. Sevilla, honestly, I don't know why and how this is 1-0. Sevilla should have been 5-0 up. Cole Palmer, Manuel Akanji, Josko Guardiol, Jack Grealish, Rodri. Cole Palmer does extremely well. At least we're putting something into Sevilla box now. No chances created. That is the worrying part for me. Zero. It's Sevilla who are creating all of the chances. Last season we saw two shit games like this. One was in the Carabao Cup, and the other was one was in the Carabao Cup final, and and the other was in the Community Shield. Nathan Ake. Will this be the repeat of Community Shield but reverse? Great switch. These are the kind of switches that we were waiting for till now. Jack Grealish is trying to give and go, but it seems they've practiced it. There are two defenders who are just waiting for that give and go. Kyle played to Cole Palmer. It's a goal! It's a goal! Ah! Cole Palmer! Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else scores? It's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer scores. What a goal! And City are level just like that. What a run there by Cole Palmer and what a finish! What a finish by Cole Palmer! Cole, your beauty! It wasn't an easy finish at all, guys. It was never an easy finish. The ball didn't have much pace and going across the keeper. Puno is a tall guy, not at all an easy finish, guys. Come on, City! Come on! What a finish that is by Cole Palmer. And the run from Cole Palmer was the thing that was superb. The run from Cole Palmer was just excellent over there. The run from Cole Palmer was what made the goal. The run from Cole Palmer was just something else. That run from Cole Palmer was superb. Hey, who? That was well done by Anderson, but again, Kyle Walker, I think it was absolute shit. Kyle Walker is having a nightmare of a game. He's done 10 bloody errors already and is the best right back in Europe right now. How are Sevilla just one goal up? I don't know. Kyle Walker, Rodri. Can City score the second one? That's a foul. And City have a free kick here. That's a good position for a free kick. Coutinho says, irrespective of the result, Ederson is my player of the match tonight. Who said he's not good at shot stopping? He wasn't, Coutinho, he wasn't. until RJSK wanted him out. But I think on a serious note, uh, I think Stefan Ortega coming in has really helped Edison improve his game. I think the same thing happened with Kyle Walker as well. Cancelo comes in and Walker feels that he has to improve, and Walker improves that season. I think that's another element of Pep Guardiola's management, that he doesn't make his players feel threatened by competition, but he makes them enjoy the competition and improve each other with the competing player. That is something interesting because find in a lot of teams that what is this? We are not at all defending balls over the top today. I actually find in a lot of teams that a competing player comes and the current player feels threatened and things go haywire in the dressing room. Mateo Kovacic, Erling. I don't know why Erling Haaland passed. Probably the angle was too tight for him. But counting another thing, if you're there, what did you think of the finish by Cole Palmer? The run and the finish by Cole Palmer. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was one of the best runs and finishes I've seen in a long time in terms of heading the ball that way. Daniel Akanji does well. It looks as if City are just clicking into the gear right now, clicking into gear right now. That was almost on the head of Erling Haaland. There. I think Sevilla are looking for penalties here. I know there's still a lot more time to go, but I think Sevilla will be happy in penalties. Happy with penalties. But Jack Grealish, Rodri, I think Grealish is just getting into grips with the game right now. City are now just set in the rhythm, but Sevilla always are ready to break. So I think we need to be extremely careful. I'm worried that Kyle Walker does not even want to put a sprint in today. I mean, the last thing you'd want is losing Kyle Walker. So happy if Kyle Walker performs in all the matches except this one. But Josko Guardiol, ah, Erling playing. This is wonderful. Jack Grealish. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer gets to the ball there. What a hit by Cole Palmer. Outside of the foot. Guys, look at what Cole Palmer is doing here. Outside of the foot hit. Look at the dribbling ability of Cole Palmer. This is wonderful. It is side foot, not outside of a foot. It seemed outside of a foot from that angle, but again, the quality of Cole Palmer is there to see for everyone. Wonderful by Cole Palmer. Along with Edison being the man of the match for me. Ah, bad decision there by Cole Palmer, but doesn't matter. He's done very well in this match. The substitution coming on for Sevilla, so we need to be careful, guys. We need to be switched on for the last 20 minutes. I know it's easy to say this sitting here, but one of my friend was telling me, I think 1 or 2 weeks back, that how will City get? He was asking me how will City get the motivation to. He was not a City fan, but he was telling that uh, he was just asking me how will City get the motivation to again go and compete for the things. He was even telling that it's fine even if City chill this season. There, you guys have won everything. That's not how. I just told him that's not how it works here because Pep Guardiola is here. He's so intense. He's so driven that just cannot keep your foot off the gas. I think that late run from midfield by Cole Palmer it is just what fooled the Sevilla defenders. Again, had an excellent game, Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is just crying out for a start. I think he needs to start in maybe not against Newcastle, but maybe the next game after Newcastle. Probably we play Sheffield United. I think after Newcastle, he needs to start in that game at least. Bruno kicks it off after the cooling break. Good header back, Angie. I mean, the defending in 1v1, there have been errors. Kyle Walker missing uh, Kyle Walker missing second balls, not dealing with aerial balls, not winning his aerial duels. There have been mistakes, but when it has come to crunch 1v1 defending, I think we were spot on. Beat Edison, last dig saves, beat Nathan Ake, forcing the attacker wide twice. Man beat Manuel Akanji intercepting. I think 1v1 court defending. I think if I have to take away one positive from this game, it will be this 1v1 court defending. We just have been superb. Why are we playing ping pong here? Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer does extremely well there. He just should have passed. He thought he could go all the way, maybe, probably. Out wide. I don't know why he's not switched it out wide to Jack Grealish, who was free. I don't know why Foden went for a shot there. It's a City throw. City's defending after that cooling break has been much better. I know it's just been 1 minute after that break, but it's been much better. So I think one positive is that core 1v1 defending, 1v1 duels, including Edison. We have just won all of them. You know, in knockout competitions in the past, in UCL, especially when we were not winning our duels and stuff, we would get disheartened. But here, City are all right. City are all right going 1-0 down. City are all right playing badly. City are all right knowing that this is a bad phase of play. Be it be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it is all right. We will get through it. We just have to grind it out. I think it is this attitude that is important to go on and win knockouts. So I think that is one big positive we can take out from this game, irrespective of the result. Negatives can be so many. We can sit here all night and talk, and I can just tell you negative after negative. But the character of this team after 1-0 down is something which impressed me. Not on the ball we were awful even after we got the one equalizer, but just in terms of persevering in the bad phases and doing your work and winning your individual duel, especially at the back. Nathan Ake, Nathan Ake to Josko Guardiol to Rodri. Good switch by Rodri, excellent switch by Rodri. Cole, just go inside. Rodri does extremely well. Cole Palmer, Nathan Ake City are just putting the squeeze on Sevilla here. Jack Grealish. Ah, Haaland is just lurking there. One chance to Haaland. That's what we want. One chance to Haaland. This is good drive forward. Haaland thought he was on the end of it. He almost headed it and fell down, but the ball went over him. Phil Foden again. Josko Guardiola trying some fancy shot and couldn't do anything. Rodri, Sevilla just not able to get the ball off City. This is classic City playing here. This is classic City playing here. Josko Guardiola, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Kyle Walker, Kevin De Bruyne. It's Mateo Kovacic actually, but looking at someone occupying those positions, I'm like Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. Looking at Kovacic occupying those spots and playing 1-2-6, suddenly, that is how much De Bruyne is ingrained in your life. If you're a City fan, you're like, you don't even look at who's the player there. You're like almost Kevin De Bruyne. But then I had to remember that Kevin De Bruyne is just not playing and is injured. That's a throw in for City. Phil Foden, Nathan Ake. Foden's making some very good runs into the box. Mateo Kovacic. I don't know why Kovacic is losing so many balls today. Mateo Kovacic gets the ball back. Cole Palmer. Almost. I thought Jack Grealish put it in. Rodri, Nathan Ake. City are just putting on the squeeze here. Josko Guardiola. Rodri back to Guardiola. Guardiola is an excellent crosser of the ball. Great switch there to Cole Palmer, but well read by the defender. Ha! That was a chance. That was a chance. How did Phil Foden not score there? I think the ball might have just gone off from Phil Foden. Countines is interesting to see still no substitutions from City given that they play Newcastle in 3 days. This is typical Pep counting. Yeah, this is typical Pep. But then again, Grealish did not play against Burnley. Kovacic, I think he just came on at around about 35th minute against Burnley. Josko Guardiola didn't play against Burnley. I probably think Diaz and Stones will start against Burnley. Probably Ake will be rested. I think apart from Rodri and probably Foden and Haaland, I think the team that played against the team that is playing today will not play against Newcastle mostly. There'll be a lot of changes. So I think that's why Pep is doing this. And a lot of these players are not playing 3 matches in a row, except Rodri and Haaland. Most of them haven't started against Burnley. So, but I can't sit here and complain that City are not 2-1 up because Sevilla had so many chances at 1-0. Jack Grealish with the shot, but it's straight at the keeper. And the Newcastle match will also be tough. Count, yeah, it'll be very tough. The only thing is it's at the Etihad. And another similarity is that Newcastle match is also starting at the same time that this match has started today. It could be a long Saturday night, but it's a very good way to enjoy City playing on a Saturday night. One of the very good ways. Of course, the result matters as well. The- Then your Sunday depends on how the result goes on that Saturday. By the way, Kaundinya, what did you make of Cole Palmer's performance? Who is this idiot who is dribbling through an entire defense there? Josko Guardiola did well over there, I think, against El Naisri, but now City are back. City are staying back. It's another crossing opportunity for Sevilla. El Naisri is again coming in. What is this? It's ping pong going on inside the box. Someone bloody clear the ball. That's what Rodri is telling to Ake over there. Just clear the ball. I have a great idea. Just buy in Naisri from Sevilla and just tell Grealish and Foden and everyone to put crosses into him. I mean, just by what Prowse and Naisri and the Premier League's done. That's how it seems. I think there's an injury to his Navas, but uh, for me, Cole Palmer is the man of the match today, along with Edison. At least until this point, Jesus Navas goes off. What a good right back he would have been at City if only age was on his side. Walker and Jesus Navas would have been a superb duo of fullbacks on the right flank. And it was Pep who coincidentally turned Jesus Navas into a fullback. Am I tense? Not as tense as the Champions League games against Bayern and all of that stuff, obviously. But yeah, I want City to come out on the right side. I want City to win games. I'm never happy seeing City lose games, be it preseason, be it Community Shield, whatever. Well done, well done. They've just driven Sevilla back. Kyle Walker. Again, that switch and that switch to the wing, and then it will be a cross into the box. How many times should we fall for it? Say we are attacking. Is there a chance for a City counter attack here? Edison does well to come out. Again, that switch, but this time the ball goes out. This time, Edison is like, don't bother trying to head it out. I think this is where you see Ruben Diaz, Julian Alvarez is coming in. But if you have Ruben Diaz in there, all of this thing wouldn't go in the defense. All of this, who hits the ball and stuff. It's almost like Ruben Diaz would just organize the defense very well. Manuel Akanji. Switch. Kyle Walker, Nathan Ake, Rodri. There's a run over there. He hasn't picked out either one. There was a chance for Rodri to cross to switch the play or pick out the run of someone. Did neither. He did neither there. Nathan Ake, Rodri, Josko Guardiol, Ake again, Rodri, Josko Guardiol, Ake. Josko Guardiol hasn't been at his best today, but he's just come into the team. That's a good switch now. Jack Grealish playing on that left hand side. Josko Guardiol. Guardiol does well. Ah! Erling, that was a good shot, I guess. Julian Alvarez, I think it is. No, it's Phil Foden actually. That's a foul on Foden, I think. Foden on the right wing now, and but if it wouldn't have struck Haaland, I think it would have been at least testing the goalkeeper. That Rodri shot. That Rodri shot was just so good. The Sevilla fans are enjoying it, but I think if it comes to penalty shootout, I don't think we have an upper hand there. It's a Sevilla throw in. I don't know why long balls and we struggled a bit today. Doesn't happen often. Doesn't happen often at all. Nothing. Yes, okay. That's very well won. Two headers, I think it's the first time in the game we have won two headers and then we are through. I think Nathan Ake is one of the best in Europe in terms of and in the world in terms of winning headers. Jack, just yes. Rodri, Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic hasn't been that good today as well. Jack Grealish. No one wants extra time here, I guess. Nathan Ake. I think City should just keep the ball till the match done. I mean, until the normal time's done. I don't know if it's just straight penalties or there'll be some extra time. I don't know about that. That's a great switch from Rodri, Phil Foden, one on one. Heading from Sevilla defenders has been superb today. Mateo Kovacic didn't get hold of the shot. You literally you actually wanted Rodri to be on the end of that and not Mateo Kovacic. It's a stamp on Josko Guardiol. That's a red card, mate. That's a red card. That's a stamp. That's a knee twist. That's an ankle twist. I hope nothing's happened to Josko Guardiol. Ah, chance. Nathan Ake thought he has headed it in. How did Ake? That just bounced. Ah, was probably just going over the bar, but it's a corner and Jack. I think he just took a second too long to shoot, and I think the Sevilla defenders just got back to position there. Manuela Kanji, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden. Wonderful run by Julian Alvarez. Phil Foden, Josko Guardiol. Hasn't been the best game for Guardiol, but first game is he'll adapt to the system, new surroundings, new country, new culture, a lot of things. Not just on the field, but off the field as well. So Mateo Kovacic, Nathan Ake, Kovacic. Ah, good strike by Walker. I don't know why he took that decision to strike it, but you never know. Wasn't a bad strike, just didn't dip enough. That's all. Kyle Walker and now it's I think Rafa Mir and someone else, Suso, is coming on. It wasn't Suso the left back that we were linked to last season. I think when we were in for Cucurella, I think Suso was one of the left backs we were linked to, and he went to Sevilla. If I'm not wrong, Suso is the Croatian left back. And nice race going off, and Rafa Mir is going on, and Rafa Mir is also a good striker. He's a good penalty box striker as well. Eric Lamela is going off. Suso is coming on. Defensive reinforcement for Sevilla, but I don't know why Pep Guardiola has just made one substitution till now. That's all. That's a free kick for Sevilla, and I think that should be that for normal time. I think 1 more minute remaining, but I think Sevilla will take the free kick here. That's a free kick to City. Well done, Foden. That's a free kick to City. That should be that for this normal time. I think it will be plus 30 minutes of added time as well. This is just getting too much. 30 minutes of added time, and then you go and play in the Premier League on a Saturday night. Okay, the kickoff is delayed, but it's still a Saturday night, right? I think that's it. That's the end of normal time. No, probably referee will allow one more attack. I think the referee has blown and it's 1-1. And what are we gonna do now? Is it gonna be extra time or is it gonna be penalties? I don't know. I literally don't know what it will be. A good second half compared to the first one. At the first 20 minutes in this half as well, we were not as good. We weren't good at dealing with long aerial balls. They're not even through balls throughout the half. But counting as penalties, oh, I was worried that there would be extra time as well, 30 minutes, and then penalties. Thank God it's just penalties. City are actually crap at taking them, and Sevilla are actually very good. There was, I think, was it Sevilla or Villarreal? I don't know. There was a Europa League final I watched. That was the time when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there, and I think it was one of Sevilla or Villarreal. I think it's Sevilla, and they scored literally 11 penalties. It was United's goalkeeper who missed. So if this team also scores those many penalties, then I don't think we have a chance. By Ajis's Palmer scoring means we lose it. Bayaji Palmer scoring and Haaland not even having a single attempt on goal. Haaland did not have any shot on goal today, right? Zero shots on goal for Erling Haaland. Zero. How many touches did Erling Haaland have? Four, five touches hardly the entire match. I mean, there was an insane stat that Erling Haaland scores for one goal every 20 touches. I don't know what speech Pep Guardiola was giving in the huddle in the middle regarding penalties. Let us see who are the listed penalty takers for City. I think looks like Erling Haaland is one, Julian Alvarez is one, probably Kyle Walker. I mean, why do you want to have Kyle Walker taking your penalties? Just, I'll never understand this. I think City are shooting first here. City are shooting first. I think Walker's won the toss or something like that. City are shooting first. Bayaji says Haaland's anonymity without KDB is a big concern. Newcastle match will actually provide us a big, good picture, I think, Bayaji. Uh, because I don't think we can read too much into this. I know a lot of teams will do what Sevilla did, low block and stuff, but I do think if we had a Bernardo Silva, I think more than Haaland's anonymity for me, Kovacic's wastefulness, Kovacic not playing those balls through the lines, breaking the low block, because they say Kovacic is an expert in breaking the low blocks with his balls through the lines and stuff. I think that is more concerning to me because Haaland's making the runs. Haaland's making the runs. I actually think Lucas Paqueta is the one we need. Or I also think that if Bernardo Silva comes, I think Bernardo Silva has that ability to play those through balls in which can find Erling Haaland. And with Bernardo Silva in there, I think our close control play will also be very good. And also, I think Pep had moved Phil Foden too much today. Sometimes he was on the left wing, sometimes on the right wing, sometimes almost alongside Haaland. I do not know where Phil Foden played today. My only hope is I think Phil Foden will find that space in the middle. Phil Foden will make that central area his own this season. That's the hope. Along with us getting Paqueta. Bayaji says Walker was a defensive clown in second half. I don't know why he was even playing. It was clear Walker was not interested at all. Zero sprints, losing all of the balls. Haaland with the penalty. I wouldn't be surprised given our penalty record that Haaland scored. My God, I for a moment thought given our penalty record, Haaland might miss. Look at that into the corner. Actually, that curl, one of the best penalties you'll see around. But Kyle Walker just seemed, I mean, our entire defense. Manuel Akanji was no less than a clown today. What did Manuel Akanji do? Did not win any aerial balls. I thought if someone had a respectable game, it was Ake and Guardiola to an extent. When Rodri misplaced one or two passes, I mean, the moment I saw Rodri misplacing passes, I was like, hell no, today's not gonna be our day. And then Palmer does that. Palmer comes and scores. And Sevilla score as well. They are an expert in penalties. When was the last time City won a major final by penalty shootout? We have won so many trophies under Pep, but I just do not remember. One of the penalties I remember was when Claudio Bravo was with us Carabao Cup. He made some saves and we won in that. I think we might have just had one or two penalty shootouts under Pep in his entire 7 year journey with City. Julian Alvarez, I expect him to score as well. He's a striker. This has to be the best penalty we will see today. Look at Julian Alvarez just thudding it into the upper top corner. No saving that. Probably Pep and City are taking these penalties a little bit more seriously than against Arsenal. Sevilla plays stepping up. Eddie, my Eddie, please save this. I think it's Rafa Mir who's stepping up. Eddie. How can you save those kind of penalties? That's just cannon into the top corner. I mean, seeing these Sevilla players put in them penalties, you wonder do they even train anything at the ground except penalties because they had nothing sort of a plan how to play. Just sit back and hit on the break. I think they just train for penalties. Phil Foden's coming, not one of our strongest penalty takers. Sorry, it's Mateo Kovacic coming. I expect Mateo Kovacic to score, to be fair. In the corner. Kovacic is a good penalty taker in the corner. The players are definitely taking it more seriously than the Community Shield penalty shootout. With the Community Shield penalty shootout, it felt as if the players thought this was a tradition. Not winning the Community Shield was a tradition. Now the Sevilla player walks up. I think is he Ocampos? No, he's not Ocampos. He's Suso, I think, the one who's walking up. Eddie, if you have a chance, please dive the right way. Henderson is dancing. Ah, but that was in the corner. He dived the right way, but that was in the corner. You just cannot save these penalties. It's actually Rakitic who stepped up. You just cannot save these penalties. Jack Grealish is coming up. Have you become sober, Jack? From all of those drinks you have had after winning the treble? Seems like it. Seems like it. I somehow have a doubt on this. Jack Grealish. Jack! Please score, Jack. Not you. Not you, Jack. Not you. Look at the audacity of the man putting it down the middle. Jack Grealish. Haaland's doing this. Wow. Look at the audacity of Jack Grealish there, putting it down the middle. He's still not sober, guys. His all of those drinks have still not gone down well. Is it City we are seeing in the penalty shootout? Is it? I want to see Ederson take a penalty, whatever the result may be. I want to see Ederson take a penalty. Eddie, if you have a chance, save it. Ah, that was in the corner. Even if he dived the right way, there's no saving that. I mean, every penalty which say we have scored was in the corner. There's not a single bad penalty at this rate. You could easily play till midnight and tomorrow morning and the day after, and still, even after the Newcastle match starts, this penalty shootout will still be alive. Who is the last penalty taker? My God, Bayaji the clown, the defensive clown is walking. Kyle Walker. Who gives Kyle Walker a penalty in a shootout? Be over. Kyle Walker. The keeper dived the right way, still the ball went underneath him. Kyle Walker, look at it. That was the worst penalty of this session, I would say. That was the worst penalty of this session. Everyone who's taken a penalty, that was the worst, you would say. Edison, Eddie, can you save this? I mean, just give the trophy to both of us if it is inconclusive with this. Ah, he's missed it. He's missed it. City have won. Woo! We have won the Super Cup, guys. We have won the Super Cup. We have won the Super Cup. We have won the Super Cup. Look at the celebrations. The celebrations are almost like in disbelief. You look at Akanji over there, and Akanji is almost turning to Pep and is asking, Gaffer, have we even won this? How can we win this? This was our shittiest performance in the last year or so. This is one of the more shittier performances we have had in the last year or so. And, and for those who said City can't score, do well in penalties. I mean, honestly, that was a good penalty by the Sevilla player as well. It just hit the bar, that's all. That Kyle Walker's penalty was the shittiest of the lot, actually. Kyle Walker's was the shittiest of the lot, I would say. It's just a disbelief. It's just a disbelief. Gautam, we won, bruh. We won, Gautam, we won. I mean, the players are in disbelief there. The fans, we are like, we'll take it, we'll take it, we'll take it. We played the Community Shield so well. Still, Arsenal nicked it in one of the most scandalous manners. One of the most in one of the most scandalous fashion. We'll take this. We'll take this. Take this. I'll see City. We'll see City lift the Super Cup before winding out for the night. I really got up. I was confident. Haaland would score. I was confident Alvarez would score. I was confident Kovacic would score. But when Grealish came, I was like, no way he scores. And the idiot put it down the middle. The idiot put it down the middle. Again, the nerve, the courage. And then when Walker walked up, I was like, Pep Guardiola doesn't have any interest in winning penalty shootouts. Never, never, never. And Walker's was lucky. Walker's was a lucky one. But honestly, all of the penalties except the last one, they were very good. Even the last one was good. It was just an inch above and it hit the bar, to be fair. Baya, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable to the players, Baya. It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to the coaching staff. You have to say the good luck charm of Yuan Malilo is back. But honestly, it was a shitty defensive performance. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that afterwards. But now just enjoy this moment. Now just enjoy this moment. We can have later to talk about the performances. That's for another day. Vinay says one more trophy in the cabinet. And unlike the Community Shield, this is not a glorified friendly. This was a competitive trophy. One more remaining now. We have won 4 trophies this season. One more remaining. It's the Club World Cup. Bayajis is also Club World Cup in the bag. The Club World Cup Bayaji this time you just cannot say because the Saudi clubs are coming, the Al Nasser and all of them. So I just do not know how they will be actually. Who are the players in there, for example. I don't know who have qualified from the Club World Cup, but a Saudi club having Sadio Mane, Koulibaly, Ronaldo. I don't even know if they're in the same team, but those kind of players will actually be tough. Club World Cup will be tougher, I think, than in the past years. JSK says, what did I say, Mohan? Say we are the biggest Super Cup bottlers. JSK, your curse is paid up again. Your curse is paid up again. And JSK, by the way, maintain your curse on Edison. I hope you've done that. Edison had saved us today. Edison, Sevilla went 1v1, I think, in the second half, and Edison made a beautiful save. And for another cross, Edison came. Otherwise, Al Nasri would have hit it in the back of the net. So Edison's just on something else. And most of it has to be due to JSK's curse, to be fair. Gautam says we have changed the history now. Treble winners, now Super Cup winners. And Manchester United, by the way, have not won the Super Cup after winning the treble. Who says Manchester is red? Manchester is blue. More trophies in the heritage year. In the treble year, United have won only three, I think. I think they didn't even win the Club World Cup back then. I don't know, but already four trophies. And for people who say you can't win the sextuple, but we could never have won the sextuple this season because the Carabao Cup is part of the sextuple and not the Community Shield. So the Community Shield was anywhere glorified friendly. So we are winning the trophies that are mattered. On to Club World Cup next, and we'll complete five trophies if we win the Club World Cup. And that has never been done in English history, right? Five trophies in a calendar year, in a season. That will just be that should just place us above United. I know United fans will not agree, but that should place us above United. Five trophies in a season. United have won three, the treble, but this is, what should we say? Three trophies, treble, four trophies. We won four domestic trophies and we call it the Formidables, I think 2017 18. What should we say this? Someone come up with a good acronym there in the chat. Five trophies, what should we say this? I don't know. Bayaji says, I had a doubt about Walker. Exactly, Bayaji. I had doubt both about Grealish and Walker. I mean, the way Grealish is running up, but Walker, it just seemed that I thought Walker would do a David Luiz and Walker would just run up and Walker would just try to blast it. The Sevilla one which hit the bar? I thought it would be the Walker one that would hit the bar, but it was just written in the destiny that we had to win the Super Cup. Vinay says with Doku and Paketa will sort out game. Just bring in Doku and Paketa. News is that Vinay, we will complete the Paketa signing by the end of this week. I mean, a bit concerning that City might walk away from Paketa signing if West Ham demand more than 90 million pounds. I don't know about that because some rumors of Danny Olmo were also coming today. I would want Paketa over Danny Olmo because left footer Paketa, and I think Paketa is more mature, 25, than Danny Olmo, who still has a lot to learn. Brazilian international, and I think we need Paketa, has everything. There was a video on YouTube and it said the next showboat, the next Brazilian showboat, Lucas Paqueta. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. The way he's, one thing we have been missing in this team since Pep has taken over is Brazilian flair. Now, don't tell me Gabriel Jesus gives you the Brazilian flair. He doesn't. I mean, when you just see Gabriel Jesus play, you would never tell he's a Brazilian at all. JSK's Alvarez one was best. I think Alvarez won and even Haaland one was best. Haaland one was best because Haaland one curled. I think the Haaland one was the most uh, difficult to execute because the Haaland one, even if the keeper dived the right way, it was always curling away from him. At that pace to maintain that curl was I thought Haaland one was actually the most difficult because Alvarez one was difficult. I agree with you, but then the execution of the Alvarez one was more easier because you just had to pick a corner and I think you could practice it and become perfect. But the Haaland one curling it on the floor into the corner, I think Even if the goalkeeper dives the right way, you can't save Alvarez one, but this one you can be more sure. You're just not saving it. Both are good, but just execution wise, I think Haaland one was just even more difficult. JSK says Guardiola and Kovacic's first trophy at the club. I think Guardiola and Kovacic would be feeling this, especially Kovacic. This is my first start in a competitive game for City, and I've already won my first trophy. One start, one trophy. Guardiola, Gaffer, is it how days are like at City? One start, one trophy, and there is someone like Harry Kane who's about to break, who is on the verge of breaking the England all-time goal scoring record, one of the best strikers that has played more than 250 games for Spurs, zero trophies. Oh, this is how it works at City. That's what Guardiola and Kovacic might be speaking with each other. Bayaji says Eddie has upped his game since the Champions League Bayern game. I actually think Bayaji, this is not a coincidence because you know Walker. When did Walker up his game? Walker upped his game. Uh, Not when Bakary Sanya was there. Walker upped his game when Joao Cancelo came because Cancelo was very good to be fair, and it seemed as if there was a time when Walker was not starting games and Walker upped his game. And I mean, you could relate that to many players. When did, for example, Eddie up his game? Eddie upped his game when Ortega came. I think we were blaming Edison, but I think the one to blame should actually be Jack Steffen, probably Claudio Bravo before that, because they are the ones who did not give Eddie enough competition. Eddie never felt in threat of his place, but when Ortega came, I actually think Eddie felt, wow, this guy is some keeper. I think on this chat we had so many discussions that we were even telling Ortega to start in Champions League games. I mean, when Bayern Munich is coming for your second choice goalkeeper and are ready to pay 20 million, maybe 30 million or whatever for your second choice goalkeeper, I think it says so much about the recruitment team and what the recruitment team had told Ortega to come and be a second choice goalkeeper, refusing high wages from somewhere else. Ortega is not even on high wages, is probably on one of the lowest low wages in the team. I think 80,000 pounds per week. I think kudos to the recruitment team more than anything else. That is what has helped Edison improve. Bhaiya, this is first trophy without KDB, more to follow. On the field, without KDB, Bhaiya but always, I think in the 72nd or the 80th minute, I was like telling Foden to KDB, KDB to Palmer, Palmer back to KDB, and suddenly something stuck in my mind. KDB is not there. Ah, I mean, all of us City fans are so used to seeing KDB do those small one-twos with the wingers and with Foden and stuff. You're like, I didn't even realize Kovacic was there. Subconsciously, my mind was like KDB, KDB. Then I was like Kovacic. So KDB might not be on the field, but KDB is there with us. I think KDB is there on the outside the pitch supporting us. He'll always be there with us, KDB, whether he's there on the field or not. So, so I think wonderful game and not a satisfactory one to be fair without KDB. Not the one to be overjoyed to say that we have arrived without KDB. But a game where I think in knockouts, what matters is, how do you get through those tough moments, and that's what we have shown today to win this knockout competition. The thing that will please Pep, the thing that will give confidence to these players is had one of the worst games probably of the season. I think probably last season against Liverpool, Community Shield and Carabao Cup against Southampton. This game for me stands beside both of them. Shit games last season and against Brentford, for example, where we lost 2-1, that was another shit game. This game stands beside all of those games, and still, the difference is we have come out of this game winning the trophy. We have come out of this game persevering till the last minute. We have come out of this game defending 1v1s well, even though we were giving the ball away in the midfield. Edison does well. I think this is a hallmark of a good knockout team. We did not have these things last season. And winning the Champions League, Pep was right. When you win a knockout competition for the first time, that is when the confidence gets to seep through. This performance almost is like a Real Madrid-esque performance in a way that you're down, you're creating chance, opposition is creating chances, yet you don't give in, and then you score the goal. Real Madrid does these kind of a things. Why? Due to their European pedigree. I think this almost is like that. It's almost is like that. We have developed the pedigree of an elite serial European Cup winner. We have actually developed that mentality, to be fair. Alexander Safarin, the chairman of UEFA, putting the medals around the neck. It will be interesting what will happen when he puts that medal round. I know he's put it, I think, no, he was not the guest at the Champions League final trophy presentation. So it'll be interesting what happens when he puts it around Pep Guardiola team against whom he had taken to court, I think 2 seasons back. Bruno, their goalkeeper, was actually very good. Always rated him highly. Now the City team is coming. I think Erling Haaland is talking to Phillips. Why the hell is he giving the medals? Ederson is like, I will walk up and take it. Calvin Phillips is going second. Calvin Phillips has already won more trophies than Harry Kane probably at City without playing many matches. There was an interesting article about There's an interesting article about Harry Kane stating that even if he wins the Bundesliga with Bayern, the journalist wrote that I don't remember the name of the journalist, but he's a very renowned one. He wrote that Harry Kane might always have that regret of not joining City in 1920 because at that time Kane was what 27, 28. Kane was in his absolute prime. He was at his peak. He could have won it all with City. I think that season Kane joins us. Maybe we win the PL. I mean we win the Champions League as well that season. Maybe we win it all that season. We do not know. So that journalist, he was an ex-player actually. The journalist who wrote it, he was like quite sure that if Kane went to City, City would have won it all that season, and Kane would just regret it. Kane would regret not being a part of a historic moment. He was writing that Kane would regret seeing Khaldun Al Mubarak and Pep Guardiola. So the journalist was writing that Kane might win the Bundesliga with Bayern and stuff, but Kane would regret not being a part of a historic moment in English football. And that would have been possible with City. Okay, he might be the all-time top goal scorer, but he would also have something which Alan Shearer didn't, which is being part of, and not many have had, which being part of, be it winning 3 Premier Leagues in a row, or being a part of a historic treble and all of that. The trophy lift is happening and it's winners UEFA Super Cup 2023. Wonderful celebrations. Come on, City. Come on. Woo! Kyle Walker, I'm sorry, Jack Grealish is asking Kyle Walker, will there be drawings after this so that I can get lost like we did after the treble when Walker's telling the gaffer's there. No, the president is there. Khaldun Al Mubarak, go and ask him. Again, what a nice gesture. Everyone joining in the support staff, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful. Great guys. Enjoy this era. Enjoy this era of success as it unfolds before our eyes. Enjoy it, enjoy it. Jack Grealish is measuring how much of a drink fits in inside that cup. Not much. I think that's what he has deduced from it. Julian Alvarez, Kyle Walker. Alvarez did well when he came on. Those runs were very good from midfield and stuff. So that was actually another thing with Harry Kane. Harry Kane will be seeing this for sure, and these things will go on in his mind. I could have been a part of all this, part of English folklore, part of English football folklore. Do not think doing anything at Bayern Munich. He might win it all at Bayern Munich, but it won't give him that same satisfaction, right? Predominantly because he's an Englishman as well, winning it all in his own country and also being an all-time. He would have broken the record of Alan Shearer for sure by now if he would have joined City. Interesting article for me, a very interesting article. Anyway, guys, great victory. We are the winners of the Super Cup as well. We are the holders of the Super Cup as well. Wonderful. This is the fourth trophy of our season. One more trophy to go with the Club World Cup. And then we return to the Premier League action against Newcastle as always. So wonderful, guys, and thank you so much, every one of you, for joining me in the chat. It is just superb chatting with you all as we went through the ebbs and flows of the game, as City teased us, as City didn't mesmerize us today. City teased us. City were not good today, but still we came out as City showed their other side, which is perseverance, even though we were not having a good day at the office today. And finally, City came through a penalty shootout, which again I thought with Sevilla practicing penalties so well, I actually thought that was not possible. So City have in a way done it against the odds, not in that way that we were the underdogs and stuff, but we have done it against the odds. So thanks guys again for joining me and take care. And I'll join you again with all of the transfer news every day and also looking forward to the Newcastle game. Well, that will be a tough ask. That will be a tough one, the Newcastle game. And lots to discuss from this game as well. But I do hope we get Doku and Paqueta. And especially this game shows you that, you know what this game showed me just before I go? It showed me that there's no father figure in that midfield. And there's no God figure in that midfield. And the God figures in that midfield are, of course, not Rodri. Rodri is CDM, but in that attacking phase, there was no God figure. There was no God figure to progress the ball. And I think there are two God figures. One is Bernardo Silva, and the other can be Lucas Paqueta if he comes. Foden is not a God figure, guys, because Foden is still learning the game. Foden is still, learning the ropes of it. So Bernardo Silva is the only god figure left in the midfield with KDB injured, and I think we get Lucas Paqueta who can take over that role. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining me and take